Hello, everybody. This is Calvin, Professor C here. So today we're going to go over some best practice with working with your real estate agent or real estate partner. So um, first of all, I think by working with your real estate partner, you should, get a mutual trust to each other, right? So what do I mean by that is, you should uh, tell them why they should work with you. You should kind of like do a sales pitch uh, for yourself, kind of like going to a job interview, right? You tell them why they should hire you. And when working with a realtor, say that Christmas is coming up, you are in a Christmas party, you met a new agent that you have never met before. You tell them that you are a new mortgage agent, and they tell you that they are a real estate agent, and very naturally, you guys would talk about how you guys can partner up and work together and make more money, right? So at that point, you should kind of do a sales pitch on yourself, uh, tell them why they should work with you. And this is very personal. Maybe you know like 5 different languages, so language may be a good choice. They may not know any mortgage agent that know how to speak Korean or Japanese or some other language. And so next time, as soon as they have that type of client, they should think about you, right? So maybe that's one of the niche, right? Also, maybe your past experience, right? Say that you're a doctor before or a software engineer, right? And so, you might be able to serve their client. Say that their client is a doctor, and you say, "Oh, I practice medical before too," and then you tell them, and next time when you talk to their client would be feel much more comfortable because you guys can talk in common language, right? Maybe in medical language or something like that. So maybe that's your niche, right? I don't know. So, but make sure that you get the trust from the realtor. You should let them know why they should use you, right? That's one thing. And then there are a lot of best practice out there. For example, number one, I think is no middleman. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the notes today. But no middleman. What do I mean by that? A lot of the time, I find that the agent is trying to control everything in terms of conversation, documentation, and all that, right? They even, sometimes they won't even allow you to talk to the client. They would sometimes even negotiate the interest rate for the client or something like that, right? And I don't like that. That's not good because that's not, first of all, not proper way to KYC. Second of all, is like you should talk to the client because the realtor would never know as much about the client as after you do an interview, right? So I always tell the agent, like, you just need to give me some background, and if you don't even have background, that's okay. Just get me their phone number, get me the name, I will call your client, right? So then you go and do a proper KYC, you call them, you see them, you sign the consent form, you do everything, right? But don't tell your realtor that this is how I usually do it. I know sometimes you may not, this is not how you do it, but this is how we do it. And the purpose of that is because we need to do a proper KYC, and then by doing that, we will get the mortgage approval success rate the highest, and at the end, it will get you your commission. So that's very important. Tell them that this is for you, it's not for me, right? So second thing is kickbacks. This is a very touchy topics, because I know outside in reality, a lot of real estate agent would ask, "Oh, Calvin, if I give you a deal, how much kickback are you going to give me, right? Or something like that. Are you going to give me a TV, gift card, this and that, right?" And that would create a very toxic relationship, because um, if they're asking for a kickback, right, what they means is, in their mind, that they are the king and they're feeding you some food and you're the dog. I'm giving you a deal. If you don't take this deal, then you're going to die tomorrow. You have no food, right? Something like that, right? So, and that's very toxic mentality, because that's not going to work as a partnership. um, I mean, a lot of people ask me through my career, like, what's your kickback? How is this? How is that? What kind of things you're going to give me? And I always tell them that, through the whole real estate transaction, there are many parties involved, right? Real estate agent, mortgage broker, lawyer, appraiser, and all that. And out of the whole pie, real estate agent is getting the biggest piece. And I have no problem with that, because they work very hard to get their piece of pie. But my problem is, if you have your biggest piece of pie and then you come and have my piece of pie, then that's not a very good working relationship. But you tell them, right? I get you your pie, and I get my pie. Everybody's happy. I serve your client well, they are happy, they become your repeated customer. Then you get another piece of pie next time when they buy or they refer a client to you, right? So help them focus on their own pie, because that is a big piece, right? Imagine when a client buy a $1 million home, and a normal commission right now maybe 2.5%, right? They're getting $25,000, right? And you're getting nowhere near that. So even if you're going to cut half of your commission to them, it's only a couple $1,000s, right? So if they are focusing on that couple $1,000s and not on their $25,000 check, they have missed the focus. That's they should focus on the successful closing, good customer service, and all that, and not like your kickback, right? Obviously, I'm not saying that you should never kind of appreciate your agent. Say that, oh, Christmas time is coming. I also buy a lot of Christmas gift for my agent, and that's okay. But that's from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate the referral and all that. It's not that I am forced to do that, right? Okay, so that's how you should deal with like people, realtor asking you for a kickback and all that. First best practice is you should always keep your agent in the loop. What I mean is, you should update them, say that, oh, an agent text you or call you up and say, hey, can you call my client? His name is Simon, his phone number is this, right? After you call them back, after you call the client and you discuss and all of that, you should update your agent, either call or just, I usually just text them and say, hey, I have just spoken with your client. Thank you very much for your referral. I'm going to work with them and work with your client and serve them well, and get the closing successfully. Okay, so I will update you after the next step, right? Something like that. The most important thing is you keep them update, but you still keep the privacy of your client, right? Because that's very important, because if you breach the privacy, if you tell them too much, if you tell the realtor too much, right? Then if that client ever find out, not only are you getting yourself into trouble because you can get into lawsuits or something like that, but the customer is not going to happy, and they're never going to go back to the same realtor. And if your realtor keep losing client because of that, then they're not going to happy and work with you, right? So you keep them updated, but not breach of privacy. Okay. And lastly, a lot of agent at the beginning would kind of test you out, like challenge you, say that when you meet them, they give you a very challenging case, and all that, right? So this is quite this happened quite often, is and I always tell some new agent, right, don't feel bad because they're just testing you, right? Say that they're telling you, oh, I have a client who is making $20,000, want to buy a $600,000 home with 10% down. Can you do it? Does it sound familiar with you, right? And I don't even know if the agent actually have this kind or not, but the first time or the second time, especially when you are new, they will kind of test you out. And the first thing you need to do is don't take it personal, right? Because if you take it personal, you think, okay, this realtor is fooling me around. I don't want to deal with them. That's it. See you later. I don't want to see you again. And I think that's not the correct mentality, because you should think about it, right? They are they're going to work with you in the future, and they're just kind of like buying a car and test driving you. So don't take it personal. Treat it as if it is a real case, and go from there, right? So you say, oh, yeah, I don't know enough detail about the client. Maybe I can talk to the client and get more information, and I'm sure I'll try my best to help them, something like that, right? And if they give you the detail of the client, maybe it's a real client, and if they say no, then go back to the first part and say, maybe this client I cannot help you, but my specialty is this and that, the language, the past experience, your connection in the community, whatever, right? Then you continue the conversation with your sales pitch. But don't take it personal, because I quite often see a lot of people, new mortgage agent, just kind of piss off at that realtor because they are trolling him or something like that. No, I honestly think that's okay with it. And to be honest, you sometimes would ask some question about the realtor too, right? And I think you should, right? Do you do listing more or buyer side more? Which area is your specialty? Are you more on residential or commercial? Are you more on Richmond Hill or downtown Toronto? Do you do more condo or townhouse, new build or resale? Right, you kind of test out your agent too. And so, like, if they take it too personally, then you're not going to have a good working relationship with your realtor. So that's it for this week. I hope you learned something. If you learned something, or if you like the video, subscribe to my channel below. This channel is all about helping new mortgage agents making more money faster. And I will see you next week.